Good morning everyone. Today I am going to take the topic relations and functions. In the first year we had studied about the sets, properties, different types of sets. Now A is a set with 3 elements, B is a set with 2 elements. A cross B, it is called Cartesian product of these two sets. It contains total 6 elements. So number of elements in A 3, number of elements in B is 2, then the number of elements in A cross B or A into B is 6. So this is about the Cartesian product. So in Cartesian product also we had studied in the first year B cross A and different properties on Cartesian product. Now when you come to the relation, every subset of Cartesian product is said to be a relation. That we had studied in the first year. Now in second year, it is very important, relation is very important. The types of relations we are going to see. In that one, first one is reflexive. Let capital A be a set. Now A cross A is Cartesian product of set on set A. Now if we define a relation on set A, for example, we have 1, 2, 3. A set is having 3 elements. 1, 2, 3. Now A cross A will contain 9 elements, 3 into 3, like this. All you know very well. Now this is the Cartesian product of A on A. Now if we define a relation on set A, this relation R is said to be reflexive. For all A belongs to capital A comma A is also belongs to R. Then the relation R is said to be reflexive. Next, for all A comma B belongs to R on set A, for all A comma B belongs to R, B comma A is also belongs to R, then R is symmetric. Here R is reflexive. For all A comma B, B comma C belongs to R, you will get new element A comma C if you remove these two. If this type of element is also belongs to R, then R is transitive. So these are the definition of reflexive, symmetric and transitive. If a relation R is reflexive, symmetric, transitive. If a relation R is reflexive, symmetric, transitive, then it is R is equivalence. R is equivalence. Now, when you come to the types of relations, in that one, reflexive, symmetric, transitive, and equivalence. These 4 definitions are very important. Usually in CET, they will ask question like this. They will give one relation with, for example, capital A is a set of lines. L1 is perpendicular to L2. Is this relation? Option 1 they will give reflexive but not transitive, reflexive but not symmetric, symmetric but not reflexive and transitive. Like that options will be. So when you come to this one, a line itself is not perpendicular, so it is not reflexive. If L1 is perpendicular to L2, then L2 is also perpendicular to L1. So it is what? Symmetric. If L1 is perpendicular to L2, L2 is perpendicular to L3, then L1 is mean to perpendicular to L3. Therefore, what we can say, this relation perpendicular is only symmetric. It is only symmetric. It is not reflexive and not transitive. So such type of questions may ask from relationship topic. Now just now we discussed about the relations. Now we will go to functions. So function is also a relation. For example, I have a set 1, 2, 3. B is equal to ABC. Two sets I have. Now A cross B will have 9 elements. Now from this I am taking a relation F. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Now this is a relation. This relation is said to be a function if every element of A have unique image in B, then this relation F is said to be a function. Now that is denoted with function is denoted with F A to B, and this is also said to be a mapping. So in the functions topic, the very important is finding of domain and range. There will be definitely one question in CET or JEE on domain and range. When seeing in the set form, it is very easy to understand domain and range, but when we go to the problems, lot of complications will come. That we will discuss in the DPP. Now here A is called domain and this B is called codomain. Domain and codomain, and set of images. Set of images is called range. So in first year we draw the graphs f of x is equal to mod x, and we return the domain and range of this one, step x, e power x, log x. Like that we have many functions like domain and range. For to find the domain and range, there are some techniques are there that I am going to tell. You just remember, and we'll discuss deeply in the when doing the problems. Now, actually, when it comes to domain and range, whatever the functions we are using in the topic and throughout the textbook, first year or second year, all that are real functions. Real functions means whose domain and codomain is subset of real numbers. So, whatever the function they are asking, we will think of what only real numbers or subset of real numbers. For example, when a function in the denominator sum we have x minus 2 is there. I want to find domain of this one. The condition for this one is x is not equal to 2, because for x is not equal to 2, the function will become not defined. So the domain of this one is what? Domain of this one is what? R minus 2. So what is meant by domain in a general word, normal words? Domain means the set of all the values of x for which the function is definable. That set is called domain. What is the range? The set of all y values. For example, f of x is equal to y is a function. The set of x values for which the function is definable, that set is called domain. The set of all values of y, after substituting the domain values is called range of that function. For example, f of x is equal to step x is a function, greatest integral function that you had studied in the first year, what is the definition and all. The domain of this one is R, because the domain it is definable for all values of x. Step x is definable for all values of x. There is no constraints. Constraints will come when it is in the denominator, when it is under root, and when it is under log. There will constraints will come. So when it is not in the denominator, it is not under root, it is not under log. Therefore, the domain of this is R. After substituting x values R, what the y values will come. So that's why in first year you have graph for that. So graph is very important in finding domain and the range, but it is not for all the time, only for some times. Now, what is the domain? You take 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the graph you will get a y value? 1, 2, 3. Now, you will get what? Up to here you will go like this. This is the graph. So, x values will take all values. When it comes to y values, only integral values will come. So, that's why domain of f is R and range is Z. Range is Z. So like that we can discuss many problems in DBB. Right now I am giving one example. Set of all x values will include in the domain. Set of all y values will include in the range. And I want to explain very important point. Then after this domain range will close. See, ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic equation. Alpha comma beta are the roots of 1. Roots of 1. Suppose it is under square root, ax square plus bx plus c. This can also written as x minus alpha into x minus beta. When alpha, beta, comma are the roots of this equation, then we can write this way. Now, x square coefficient is positive. X square coefficient is positive. Expression is positive. Means same sign. Same sign. X does not lies in between alpha and beta. X square coefficient is if it is opposite side means x square coefficient is negative, this is positive, or this is negative, this is positive, then x lies in between alpha and beta. This I will explain with one example. Suppose I want domain of square root of x square minus 5x plus 6. This can be written as x minus 3 into x minus 2 into x minus 3. Now, domain, I want to find domain of this one. Now, under root x square minus 5x plus 6 greater than 0. This function will be defined when it is greater than or equal to 0. Now this can be written as x minus 2 into x minus 3. So this will here x square coefficient is what? Positive, and this is also positive. Say x square coefficient is positive, the expression is also positive. Same sign. So then x domain. Sorry, both are same positive, then the value of x does not lie between 2 and 3. So domain of f, we can write it as minus infinity to 2, close bracket, union 3 to infinity. Domain of f is like this. Because when same sign, x does not lies in the intervals. See, observe once again. Domain of f of x, I have a function like this. These are the factors. Actually 2, 3 are factor of this one. Now here x square coefficient 1 positive, total expression positive. So both having same sign. This one and this one both having same sign. When both have same sign, x does not lies in the interval. So 2, 3. I left the 2, 3 and 3 to infinity and 2 to minus infinity. So the domain of f is, just now we discussed about domain and range. Now we will go with the types of functions. Types of functions. One is injective function. Distinct f a to b is a function. If distinct elements in A have distinct images, then f a to b is said to be a one-one function. For example, x1 comma x2 belongs to A, then f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Then f is said to be one-one function. For example, in Venn diagram 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Now here 3 different elements in A have 3 different images in B. Then this f a to b is said to be one-one function. Now onto function. Onto function. This is called surjective. Surjective. F a to b is a function. If every element of B have at least one image in A, then f a to b is said to be onto function. Means, see, f 1, 2, 3, A, B, C is there. Here, it is not onto because the element C, we are not having pre-image in A. So, if I remove C here, then it will become onto. So, every element of B that we can write in mathematical notation for all B belongs to B, there exists A belongs to capital A such that f of A is equal to B, then f is said to be onto function. Next, one more thing also we can say for onto function and codomain will coincide with range. In another way also we can say onto. If range is coincide with codomain, then also the function is said to be onto function. If a function is both injective, surjective, then that is called bijective. Or example 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Now, A to B, here every element of B has at least one pre-image in A and different elements of A have different images in B. Therefore, it is both surjective and injective, hence it is called bijective. Thereafter, we will go invertible. a function f a to b is said to be invertible if it is bijective. So a function exists its inverse when it is bijective. So f inverse is also a function. It is a function from b to a, and it is said to be inverse of the function f a to b. For example, f of x is equal to log x. You know very well in second PUC 5 marks question every time they used to ask show that it is show that it is bijective and hence find its inverse. So I am taking y, so I have to find x value in terms of y. Now which can be written as f inverse of y. So f inverse of y is equal to e power y. So f of x equal to log x is a function, then its inverse is e power y. So this is about inverse. Next, composition of two functions. Composition of two functions. Let f a to b is a function, g b to c is a function. Now g circle f a to b is also a function. This function is said to be a composite function. For example, f of x is equal to x square, g of x is equal to log x. Now, by composition of these two, g circle f of x is equal to g of f of x, which is equal to g of log x, and in place of x we have log x. So f of x is x square. G of x square means log x square. See, we have f of x is one function, g of x is log x. Now g circle f log x square, we got a new function. So composition will give new function. There we have some properties we have. What are the g circle f whole inverse is equal to f inverse circle g inverse. H circle g circle f is equal to g h circle g circle f. Like that we have properties of composition of functions. So up to this one we have functions. Now we are going with the last topic, binary operation on a set. Suppose a set A is a set, then star is a binary operation. It is a function from A cross A to E. Now on binary operation, it's almost like closure property only. What is closure property? For all A comma B belongs to A star B belongs to A, then star is said to be a following closure action. Like that, if A star B is equal to B star A, then star is commutative. A star of B star A B star C, A star B of star C. It is called associative axiom. A star E star A is equal to E, then E is said to be identity in the set A with respect to this operation star. If A star B star A is equal to E, then B is said to be inverse of A with respect to this binary operation star. What is the motor behind the binary operation is we have generally plus, minus, division and multiplication. Like this fundamental operation that we had studied from our childhood. This is binary operation means we can define our own operations. For example, I given a star B is equal to A square plus B square. Means here the operation what we are doing square, we are doing B square. Means we are defining our own binary operation. For example, 1 star 2, what will happen? 1 square plus 2 square, which is equal to 1 plus 4, which is equal to 5. It is nowhere in that 4. So it is the advantage of binary operation is we can define our own operations. So this is about the binary operation. Thereafter, I think you had seen binary operation table. So here observe set A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to taken all the elements here. We have to taken all the elements of set A here. Here we have to see. Here if you get an element other than set A, then it is not binary operation. So here in the set in the table, all elements are what we have that are all belongs to A only. So therefore this star is a binary operation. This table is called binary operation table. From binary operation table, we can find identity and we can find inverse. That we will see in DBP if there such type of problems comes. So thank you very much. This completes theoretical part. It is not complete, only refresh of theoretical part. Go through this video completely. You will refresh. Thereafter, I will upload one more video is there that problems solving. Okay, thank you.